Hey guys, how's it going? Let's go do your own research. Thank you so much for already joining the live chat. And I'm sorry I was a little bit late. I was very fortunate that my daughter cooked dinner for me and it wasn't ready. So I had to make it a little bit later. But yeah, we are going to be talking about a true crime channel YouTuber called Jonathan Lee Riches and how he falls into a pattern of YouTube abusers. And it's really funny because, yeah, he is behind that. He is behind that Nancy Guthrie story, which I haven't been really following. But my friend, my YouTube channel friend, Katie, Online Bullshit, she made a video about it a few weeks ago, I think. And I actually commented about him in the comments because I had come across him like years ago. And I was like, this is so weird because I literally commented on her video about it. Otherwise, I would not have known he was doing all of that. That I'd seen him years ago. And then I saw him doing live commentary at the Diddy trial, and he was talking about, like, I literally clicked on it, and he had thousands of people watching his lives covering the P. Diddy trial. And all I heard him say was something complimentary about Mark Aragos. He was like, oh, Mark Aragos, he's such an amazing liar. And I was like, oh, so I immediately clicked off. So I already had feelings that he was a suspect and uncredible source, but I had no idea that he's done all this stuff. Then at the weekend, I see a video comes up saying he's involved in a DV incident. And of course, as this is, go do your own research. I had to go and do my own research, and I get the police report. And I'm like, yeah, that looks legit to me. And of course, there's a whole bunch of people already trying to blame the victim, trying to discredit the victim, and all of that. And to be fair, I'm not really a fan of either party here. I am completely neutral. But this looks 100% like he has assaulted her. There is a police report. There's a photo taken by the police. I couldn't actually find a link to the photo. I just screenshotted that image that I used in my thumbnail from someone's video. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff being said about it. And so come to find out, that's what I was trying to say in my comment about the Nancy Guthrie thing, is I feel like he leans into MAGA conspiracies. Turns out he does, but I didn't know that. I just had an instinct. It was the first time I ever see him. He was talking about this situation, or it was like a story going on with this woman called Megan Walsh. And she, like, if you're into true crime, her dad they were one of the original, the family was one of the original true crime stories. Her brother, before she was born, was kidnapped from a shopping center. And I don't think they ever found who killed him. I think he was found eventually. They never were able to find out who kidnapped or killed him. So that's obviously a very traumatic thing to happen to the family. And a lot of stuff and her parents were very vocal at the time. They did a lot of campaigning on TV about it, and a lot of stuff was said about their relationship and about their family situation and all of that. And then the dad went on to become a TV presenter of, I think it's called America's Most Wanted. So the conspiracy was that I just ended up watching, because this is before I knew anything about how the algorithm works and that there's all these like left and right conspiracies. And I just ended up seeing these videos that she was at the court and the state was petitioning to take, they'd already taken her children off of her. Bear in mind, this was around 2022, so it was when the Britney Spears having her kids taken off her was being talked about, obviously, Bam Margera. And there has to be a very good reason for people to have to be court ordered to have their kids taken from them. And it's not an easy process. Not to say that there are mistakes made. Of course there are. But it really is like the worst thing that could happen. However, he was covering it, and he was taking up the line that the state were taking her kids from her because of who her father was, and that they were involved in a children trafficking ring. And there was just something about it that just did not sound right to me. And so I think I started to watch a few more videos, and then it kind of came to light that she was with an abusive partner. Well, he also had a history of DV and being a con artist. And I just feel like substances were involved. It was never said, but they did end up showing, or somebody ended up showing, the police cam footage, because the campaigning didn't work. She tried to campaign through the media, whereas the state were using the correct court operations or procedures to get a court order because she was pregnant. So she'd already lost some of her kids. And instead of leaving the guy, because I'm sure he was the reason why the state has to, if the state believes that your kids are not safe in an environment, they are duty bound to take the kids away from that environment. And I think that her parents had agreed to bring up the kids, which is it's a better outcome than them going to like foster care or care homes or anything like that. But yeah, so anyway, it always made me suspicious of him because he was obviously taking up her side, and it just didn't make sense to me. And then I saw the police cam footage where the police went in and actually took the baby, and it was really traumatic, but they handled it really sensitively. And as far as I know, she hasn't got the kids back, which, yeah, doesn't look great on her. But anyway, so that's how I first ever heard about him. And then, like, when I see him doing the Diddy trial, and I think also he's done like live hurricane coverage, because I love watching weather videos. I noticed, like, wow, he's got a huge following, but I remembered him from that time, and I was like, there's something sus about that guy. Like, he obviously doesn't report factually, he reports with an agenda. So that's where we're at today in 2026. It turns out that he's the world's most litigious man, and he spent like years in prison, I think 9 years, but filing lawsuits. And on top of it, he's been abusing his partners, because I also have another court order from 2013 from his ex-wife. So all these people saying she's lied, she's lying, I don't think so. I think if anyone has a history of lying and scamming, it's him. But yeah, let me quickly share the article from the New York Post, which I know is not the best source. And it's interesting as well, because I'm like, I don't know who has put out this information. It doesn't feel like it came from her. She's not really said too much about it. She has made a statement on her YouTube channel, and commented that they contacted her, but I do know, speaking of Marga, she is connected to Turning Point. She's into all of that stuff. In fact, most of the people that are doing videos about this are. And I did watch a few over the weekend because that's when it came up, and I was like, I don't believe this. But yeah, I thought I would talk about it because I was like, I know my audience is going to be interested in this, and I know that they know that I show documentation, I do research, and I show all the information that's relevant. Or I do my best. So yeah. I'm a bit rusty. There we go. Right. So this is this article in the New York Post. It says there's one case true crime YouTuber JLR investigates isn't covering. Yeah, and that's my point. It's like, this is happening in the true crime space. And all of the videos I was watching, nearly all of them, there was one that was really good. She actually posted a link to the police report. But the majority of them were sort of not taking his side, but certainly not, they weren't convinced. They had doubt. And I'm like, you guys are obsessed with true crime. Like, this is meant to be your niche. If you can't see that this guy is a criminal that is violent and a danger, like, he goes to the scene of crimes and harasses victims. He impersonated, whilst literally just on release from jail, whilst on bail, he impersonated the Sandy Hook shooter's relative. He pretended to be his uncle to get on the media. Like, and that was in 2013. I forget the exact date, but I mean, like, this guy has been doing this, and you all still want to give him a pass, and you're in true crime. Like, what is the point of you doing true crime if you're this blind to how this guy operates and doing investigations? Wait, 1 second, I need to find the charger. I can't remember how I turn the how do I turn my camera off? Oh yeah, there we go. Right, back. BRB. Oh, sorry, I thought I had a lot more battery. Right. Okay. You feel like, how would I compare him to Tyler Oliveira? Yeah, I think, and also, I don't know if you saw as well, there was this, have you all seen that? There's a lot of stuff about the Netflix documentary about the manosphere with Louis Theroux, and I'm like, this is the same thing. It's like, it's these male figures in the commentary in the YouTube space that are literally dominating our narratives, whether it's true crime or anything else. And I've been sitting here trying to call these people out, you know. It's been a lonely I can't think of the other word. But yeah, I mean, it's so much scammers on YouTube. It seems like it's set up for them to scam. That's exactly what he says in one of the articles that I'm gonna get to. He was convicted of wire fraud. Yeah, I think he stole from vulnerable people and his own parents as well. He's abused his own parents. He's done every red flag activity you could think of. Connect at the NYP, maybe. Oh, the Hindustan Times. Yes, I think you're right about that. And that's the other thing, yeah, because we as individuals have all of this information about how astroturfing works, about how using a fake SEO manipulation and crisis PR. So it's in their interest to do this MAGA coverage, because if they hook up with those kind of media platforms, they're going to get the views and the clicks and the media support. And yeah, I agree with you. He's had a lot of stuff deleted. If you put in her name, which is I'm back. Her real name is, videos going on today are very disturbing. Wait, I'm sorry. Welcome to Go Do Your Own Research. I'm sorry, I can be a bit all over the place. But I tell you what, I know I do a better job than a lot of these channels that I've been witnessing over the weekend. Right, her name is Jamie Tenniel Phillips. Her online name is, it's gone out of my head, but it'll come back. That's a picture of her there. So yeah, true crime YouTube star Jonathan Lee Riches, aka JLR Investigates, is accused of brutally beating, strangling, and threatening to unalive a former girlfriend she claims in court documents. I don't like the way they phrase that, because it's more than she claims in court documents. She called the police, which is what you do when there's been a crime. And the police made a report and took a photograph. And I'm sure there's going to be police cam footage released at some point. He's probably trying to stop that coming out. But I'm sure someone will get it. There's too many followers involved, too much of a big audience here. She has got a bit of a following herself. In a sworn petition, filed in Arkansas, Jamie Tenniel Phillips claims Riches, 49, carried out a violent attack on Christmas Eve 2025. Oh yeah, her screen name is Magnolia X, I think. Capping what she described. So this happened on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, early hours of Christmas Day. Capping what she describes as a years-long pattern of abuse that included him repeatedly strangling her. So this was the straw that broke the camel's back. Because, like I said, when you hear about these incidents, you know this isn't the first time it's happened with this sort of thing. The filing obtained by the Post alleges Riches, a convicted felon who spent 10 years in federal prison over a credit card fraud scheme, was in a relationship with Phillips beginning early 2023 that spiraled into a persistent and escalating platform of DV, coercive control, intimidation, financial exploitation, and physical violence. I just want to show you as well. Speaking of astroturfing and comments, the comment section on this article is diabolical. There's some real dumb asses in these comments, which is probably his supporters. Or another thing I wanted to say as well, actually, I've been thinking about how I was going to start this intro. During the Diddy trial, I came across another YouTube channel called Ratchet TV, and I made some videos about it. Because all these dumbasses that were doing Diddy commentary, that pretended they cared about P. Diddy's victims, that were there clutching their pearls, reading out all those lawsuits that were filed against P. Diddy, that went along with Tony Busby's fake lawsuits. Outside the court, when the verdict was announced, when they all switched into like, oh, okay, it wasn't that bad, actually. This guy called Ratchet TV started verbally abusing another channel called Tisa Tells, who I used to watch. I had kind of like stopped watching her by then, but I saw this stuff happening because I was watching the live commentary. And she had got like a security guard and built like a little fence around her while she was doing her live outside the court. This is the SDNY court in New York, and people were like laughing at her and trolling her, saying why does she think she's so special, that she needs a security guard and a special section. This guy was verbally abusing her. He was literally coming up to her, following her around, shouting at her. Turns out the guy is a domestic abuser. And all of these channels were standing there, not only witnessing it and watching it, they were laughing along with it, thinking it was funny. They were putting it on their own live streams because they disagreed with her position. And I'm like, not one of you knew about the history of this guy? Like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I made a video about it. And him, I didn't know he had this history of DV. A video came up straight away that had a lot of views, and his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend had been his mod. It's just typical YouTube behavior. His girlfriend had been his mod. He'd coerced her into a relationship. He'd started hitting her. He'd started bullying her. He'd started convincing her she would be nothing without him. And she was brave enough to get away from him and go public with it. And she had all the evidence, and this was all out there. And not one of these damn people on YouTube that were talking about Diddy said anything. To this day, I don't think they said anything. But yeah, so I feel like this JLR is really similar, but let me not get too distracted. I feel very passionately about this stuff because I'm like, I just feel like we cannot let these people take over. Like, this is why I still bother to do lives and stuff or make videos. Abuse is just so prevalent. It just wears people down. So yeah, someone said something about she was looking for a payout. And I'm like, what century are you in? What payout? What payout is she looking for? The woman is obviously was doing her thing independently from him. He was financially abusing her. Did you miss that part? Do you think this guy is good with money when he has spent his whole life scamming people and obtaining money fraudulently. I just can't get over people in comments. Anyway, let me go back to the article. That's them together. His audience are likely unaware of just how sinister, let me put my glasses on, Rich's past is. In 2019, he openly admitted being a troll and fabricated highly sensitive information after he was called out for pretending to be Jewish and giving a fake backstory at a Trump rally. So I have that article right here. I have another article from 2008 talking about him. I have another article from 2020. Okay, so there was this article in the Huffington Post in 2019, and it said, anyone can get trolled, even the New Yorker. Proto-troll Jonathan Lee Richards. And that's another thing I've been saying about true crime, because in case you don't know, guys, yeah, I made a true crime video on my channel. On my most viewed video on my channel has 76k views now. It still gets comments every day. It's about a true crime story in the UK. Nicola Billy. Yeah, it was a woman who went missing. And I've said this. I've said the people that do these true crime conspiracy theories, they do not care about their audience. They do not care about the victims. They do not care about the person who was killed. They are literally troll farming for views and clicks. And that's what he does. Proto-troll Jonathan Lee Richards has been wreaking havoc for years. In a political landscape flooded with disinformation, he's more dangerous than ever. So that is him pretending to be pro-gay, I guess, or pro-LGBTQ with his rainbow colours, with Hillary Clinton. Then that's him pretending to be pro-Jewish for Trump, which is, again, what a lot of YouTubers do right now, pro-Israel. We've got him. This is him going to the Sandy Hook elementary school after the mass shooting and pretending to be a relative of the shooter. And this is him doing whatever that is. He just goes with whatever he thinks is going to be popular. But yeah, let me go back to the article for a sec. So I don't think about the long-term consequences as far as disinformation or offending anyone, Richards told the Huffington Post in 2019. The disinformation that I want, I can put out there. The next mass shooting, before they identify the shooter, I can set up 10 Twitter accounts looking like news sites and then create whoever I want as the shooter. Vulnerable, gullible people will see that This is his own words. Talk about acting in plain sight. Vulnerable, gullible people will see that, they think it's from a news site, and then they will copy it and tweet it out. These are the same people that will come into my comments and say, you need to do some research. I swear to God, the amount of people that think they're really funny saying your channel's called Go Do Your Own Research, I suggest you go and do some research. I'm like, no, you will find that I actually do research. Your research is reading this stuff. Rich's operation has drawn criticism from authorities and journalists alike, as he is part of a growing ecosystem of YouTube crime scene streamers who monetize tragedy by broadcasting from active investigations. However, Rich's notoriety long predates the live stream era. True that. Broadring and federal prison. According to federal court records, Richards was indicted in 2003 in the Southern District of Texas alongside several co-defendants for a credit card fraud scheme. I saw another video yesterday when I was doing my research where he openly talked about this in a live interview. He doesn't hide any of it. He kind of like diminished the sound of it a little bit. He was like, oh, you know, it was just like I got hold of some data and it was used fraudulently. But this is what he did. It was called phishing, what he did. You know, when people send out like they slightly changed the URL so people think it's from a legitimate site and it's actually they're giving him all their information. That's how he got these people's information. He's a pest. The indictment claimed the conspirators used stolen financial data to obtain money and property through fraudulent transactions. Richards was arrested in Florida in February 2003 and brought to Texas to face the charges, entering a guilty plea to conspiracy and wire fraud counts in September that year. A federal judge sentenced him to 125 months in prison for wire fraud and 60 months for conspiracy to run concurrently, along with let me turn my camera off for one sec. I don't want to keep putting my glasses off and on. Along with $92,680,000 in restitution to victims, according to the criminal docket. I heard that he hasn't paid any of it back. That wouldn't surprise me. Richards says he has no religious affiliation, but has passed himself off as a Jews for Trump supporter. He has also posed as a Muslim and attended rallies for both Trump and Hillary Clinton. That's what I said. These conspiracies come from the right and the left. Most litigious inmate. While incarcerated, Richards flooded federal court with thousands of bizarre, frivolous lawsuits targeting politicians, companies. That is another trait of YouTubers that put out disinformation. They file false, frivolous, defamatory lawsuits, defamation lawsuits Some of these lawyers are happy to take their money. And some of them have money, or some of them start GoFundMes. You know who else came to mind when I was reading all about all of this? And I've been meaning to talk about him. Planning another video. Andy Signal. He really fits into this category so badly. Frivolous lawsuits targeting politicians, companies, public figures, and celebrities, including one against the Kardashian family for allegedly participating in an Al-Qaeda training. You know who else I saw he sued, which I couldn't believe? Alan Dershowitz. I don't know what it was for, but it was literally taken off the docket after like a month, so I don't think Alan Dershowitz was too impressed. The cases were quickly dismissed. The sheer volume of Rich's lawsuits, estimated at over 4,000, ultimately forced federal prosecutors to seek an unprecedented nationwide injunction against him to prevent him from suing. He was also banned from having paper in his cell. Man, that is how bad it was. He wasn't even allowed pen and paper in case he filed another lawsuit. In response, Richards went on a hunger strike for 22 days and a warden had him force-fed through a tube. Oh, I just wondered what that volume... Oh, that's a screenshot from a video. I thought it was a video. After being released in 2012, Richards returned to Pennsylvania, that's where he's from, on supervised release, but almost immediately found himself back in legal trouble. He travelled to Newtown, Connecticut, 3 days after the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre that left 20 first graders and 6 staff members dead. He attended a memorial. This is 3 days after he's released from prison. He attended a memorial where he falsely claimed to be the uncle of the gunman, Adam Lanza, according to local authorities and court filings. He said he was Jonathan Lanza and made unsubstantiated claims about the shooter's mental health, which were quickly debunked. I think he said it was something to do with psychotic medication. 3 days later, Richards posted a YouTube video of the trip in which he attempted to approach Lanza's home before being stopped by a police blockade. We are truth seekers and we are going to find out why Adam was mind controlled. This is another subject they're obsessed with, MK Ultra. Mind controlled and manipulated to go in and allegedly shoot little kids in Sandy Hook Elementary School, and why this happened, Richards said in the clip, as reported by the New Haven Register. I'm not going to show the clip, but he did all this. It's all on video. A few weeks later, Richards found himself back behind bars for violating the terms of his probation by crossing state lines. From there, his phony lawsuits kept coming. In March 2016, he filed a civil action against Representative Gabrielle Giffords, posing as the man who shot her and killed 6 people several years earlier. Do you think this guy could give 2 Fs about any one of the children or the people that are kidnapped or go missing that he goes and pretends to report on? According to a criminal complaint he posed as Jared Launer, the gunman who tried to assassinate Giffords. Is it Giffords? Giffords. The complaint sought $25 million. Riches pleaded guilty to a charge of making false statements, according to court records, and was sentenced to 5 years probation. He later told the Arizona Republic that he filed the fake lawsuit as a joke to entertain himself in prison. You know who else he sued? Britney Spears, and he said he did it to attract her attention. He actually said that in an interview, live. Riches was released from federal prison in May 2016, according to the Bureau of Prisons inmate locator. However, his headline-grabbing stunts and questionable antics continued to evolve. I'm going to show you what else he was doing as well. This filing, what was this? This was a restraining injunction and temporary restraining order was filed against his wife. I don't even know if it's his ex-wife, but this was in 2013. March 11. And it said the plaintiff, Naomi Riches, is in need of a preliminary injunction from my husband, Jonathan Lee Riches, who has been using the court system to harass me. I have been afforded a label under psychiatry with new legal research and statutory provisions. It has come to my attention how damaging psychiatry can be. Jonathan Lee Riches is a very dangerous individual who knows the law. He is aware of this labeling, has studied law for 9 years while he was incarcerated at Federal Medical Center, Lexington, Kentucky. I ask that Jonathan Lee Riches had nothing to do with my treatment options in respects to psychiatry. He is unstable. Attached is documentation from the Westchester Police Department in Westchester, Pennsylvania, where Jonathan Lee Riches has already interfered with my treatment plan. I'm not sure if it's inferred or interfered with my treatment plan by giving false testimony against me in the court of law. He is associated with a very large network of people scattered across the United States who have also been involved in giving fake testimony within the courts to wrongfully punish me for deviated behavior under psychiatry. I asked the courts for relief. Then there's a police report which says that he went to a different courthouse to file a PFA against her, and that he was arrested on violation of probation and parole from Chester County Audit Probation and parole, and also federal charges are outstanding against him. This is in 2013. Or sorry, December 2012. Copies of PFAs and information have been supplied to detectives for additional charges against Jonathan Riches for harassment against Naomi Riches. So he's a psychological bully as well, gaslighter. Like, that's literally what gaslighting is. Yeah. And that was in San Diego. So he's offended in so many different states as well. So that was in 2013. But 2016, Wait, when did I say? So that was all after this Sandy Hook thing. He's not only trolling the public, he's trolling his own wife. During Bill Cosby's trial in September 2016, I can't believe that was in 2016, he showed up in court repeatedly offering the disgraced rapist Jello each time he entered. Weeks later, he surfaced in Florida alongside then who? Goober National Hopeful. I don't know what that is. Andrew Gillum posing as a Black Lives Matter protester. Gubernatorial hopeful Andrew Gillum. I don't know who that is. Posing as a Black Lives Matter protester. Some of his most audacious acts came from disguising himself as both a Muslim and Jewish attendee at political events. He did another thing where he's saying Muslims for Hillary Clinton, including rallies for now President Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. He confirmed to the Huffington Post he was an atheist from a Christian family and confirmed at that time he didn't practice any religion. In recent years, Riches has attempted to reinvent himself. Well, he's done a good job. But you know why he's done a good job? Because YouTube does nothing to safeguard people. Nothing. The bigger your platform grows, the less chance you have of making a complaint against a channel, because they don't care. They just want that person to keep on doing it. That is the sad reality. While he markets himself as a crime scene investigator, chasing the truth behind high-profile cases, critics say his appearance often amount to nothing but exploitation, interference, and spreading disinformation. You know who else came to mind as well, speaking of exploitation? Mark Later. Same thing. He says he's telling these people's stories. He's doing journalism. Is he though? In one such incident, a business card was sorry, I'm in one of those moods tonight. In one such incident, a business card was left on Nancy Guthrie's front door. Richards told his viewers she might have been at the center of an active elder abuse case prior to her disappearance. Well, if anyone knows about elder abuse, it's him. It's him. The card was from a case manager for Arizona's Adult Protective Services Division, who later confirmed it had dropped by after she was reported missing, so she could contact the agency if she returned home safely. A lack of information leads to speculation, Richards told The Republic, while live streaming outside Guthrie's home in February. That is true. A lack of information does lead to speculation, but what you're doing is harassing and bullying people and literally making ish up. You're not speculating. That's using the term extremely loosely. The practice mirrors a growing trend highlighted in recent reporting by the Post. Don't tell me the Post is doing investigating. About YouTubers who earn thousands of dollars from live streams outside active investigations, broadcasting theories and commentary to viewers. Law enforcement officials and victim advocates have warned the practice can complicate investigations and implicate innocent people. And victims wreaking havoc on their lives. Yet for some top-earning live streamers like Rich's, it appears notoriety and infamy can actually work in their favor. I would just say anyone who has investigates on the end of their YouTube name, just be very wary of them. Yet for some top earning live streamers like Rich's, I just read that. Crime Scene Collective co-founder Alina Smith told the Post she had seen fans of Rich's fly in from interstate and show up at crime scenes simply for a meet and greet with him. Many of them came bearing gifts, she said. Others simply donate cash to him online. Yeah, I definitely heard that he was getting like $500 donations regularly from weirdos. They're obsessed with him, she said. And then, like I said, there were these stupid comments. Like this idiot here, George. Years-long abuse must have not been too bad since she stayed with him. She wants a payday. F off, George. And like, you know, I don't know whether these people in comments do this themselves, but anyone who's been anywhere near these kind of guys, because unfortunately, there's way too many of them around. But guys that abuse women, yeah. Mainly it's because they can't deal with their own weaknesses and their own insecurities. And they will manipulate a woman's emotions into trying to make her believe that they're going to change. And that if she leaves, they're going to make life really difficult for them. In fact, as we're going to see, because this is the Chelan County Sheriff's report, he had made threats. And I've heard an exchange over the police radios where they're saying that as well. I wasn't able to obtain it myself, so I didn't want to use someone else's video, but I just think there's enough here to show that he's done this. The fact that he was doing it in 2013. So this is the officers that attended the incident that happened at the River Inn in Leavenworth, Washington, the All Season River Inn. And it was on the 25th of December, Christmas Day, between 9:18 and 9:23. So in the morning, Christmas Day. Merry Christmas. I think the previous year I looked at their channel as well. These two had been collaborating on videos together and doing they did a members only Christmas celebration video the previous Christmas where he gave her a dog. That's the dog that's in the thumbnail, where he's wearing a Christmas hat, a Santa hat, saying nice. This is another thing about social media. There's so many comments saying, oh, you're such a cute couple. Oh, couple goals. Oh, fawning all over them. Like, that is the definition of parasocial relationships. Like, you have no idea what people are like in real life. You're just going by a thumbnail pic. Sorry, I've been ignoring the chat. Let me have a quick look. Long are the days of O'Keefe. The GOP cut out the middlemen with hack YouTube journalists. I know. And the thing is, it's like, it's getting worse because a lot of journalists are being sued and dismissed. And yeah, at least journalists haven't been doing a good job. But at least there is some kind of framework there that citizens, that are regular people, get to push back on. With the content creator space, we do not have that. As I've said, if someone has a big platform, the chances of you being able to make a complaint against them, if you don't have a big platform, are small to none. And they can take you down like that. Because a lot of them abuse the system as well. And speaking of suing journalists as well, like, this is why I went hard on Alexa Nicholas, because that's what kind of alerted me to her, was the fact that she sued a journalist, or attempted to, whilst pretending to advocate for victims. And I think it's important to call out when you don't believe someone, because this woman, this girlfriend of Jonathan Lee Richards, she has gone to the police. She has a record that she's gone to the police. I've never seen a record of Alexa Nicholas going to the police about her partner, or ex-husband, I should say. Same with his previous wife. It was his wife. That was in 2013. And he was obviously very violent and abusive. So, yeah, that's why I don't believe her. Because she keeps records of everything else that's happened to her in her life. Right, I don't want to get too distracted on that, but she follows the pattern of being a YouTube scammer, is what I'm getting at. But people want to donate money and somehow believe that she's helping survivors. It's interesting. He has so much support for abusing a woman when the true crime niche has a majority female audience. I know. I don't get it. I honestly, some of them, I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing making true crime content, saying you're a sleuth. If you're ignoring this, if you're ignoring such obvious signs and symbols and saying, well, I need to see receipts because she's lied in the past. At some point, you have to let your brain start functioning. Didn't he also sue Nostradamus and Hitler? I think he sued Hitler, probably Plato. Yeah, I mean, he's sued pretty much everyone you can think of. Anyone that's been in the news. It was like he would probably go on the news of the day, and whoever was being written about, he would say, "Oh, I'll sue them today." He should change his surname to Brokies. Yeah. I don't think he has money. I think he's probably made a bit of money, but I don't think he knows how to handle money at all. Why would he be financially abusing his partner and using her for content as well? Like, because I think what she means, or she could mean by that, is he's been using her to produce content and probably not paying her, allegedly. That's just me guessing. Okay, what was I going to look at next? Oh yeah, the police report. Sorry, I haven't read it through yet. Okay, let's do the police report. So we've got 5 officers attending: Kyle Talley, Lucas McComas, Randy Lake, Aaron Seabright, Andrew Tilton. So all of this, I think they have on record. Okay, narrative. Following the report is a summary of an incident which occurred to my recollection. This report also serves as a summary of my involvement with and understanding of said incident. Furthermore, portions of my involvement were recorded by audio and video on my department-issued Axon body-worn camera. Please review the incident recording for chronological order, exact statements made, and or further information outside of this report. On 12/25/25, at approximately 10:21 hours, I, Deputy K. Talley, was working uniformed patrol and driving a fully marked patrol vehicle for the Chelan County Sheriff's Office. I responded to the All Seasons River Inn located at blah, 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 Leavenworth, Washington, for a report of an assault. The victim reporting party identified herself as Jamie T. Phillips. Jamie told dispatch she received an injury to her nose from a fight last night with her boyfriend, Jonathan Richards. Another thing I've seen is people saying, why didn't she report it straight away? Lots of reasons. It doesn't matter why she didn't report it straight away. Rivercom was also informed Jonathan had taken Jamie's phone and left last night. I arrived at the location at the same time as aid. I'm guessing that's medical. We contacted Jamie at the main entrance door. I could visibly see bruising around Jamie's right eye, consistent with being in the early stages of a black eye. This is the police officer writing this. I could also see a small red mark on the upper right corner of the bridge of Jamie's nose. Her nose was visibly not straight and resembled what I have observed through training and experience to be broken. Jamie requested, she must have been in some pain. Jamie requested we all speak in the room where her belongings were, which is the Shenandoah room at this location upstairs. Jamie advised sometime between 23 to midnight hours last night, she had confronted Jonathan about things she observed on his work phone. Jamie stated it was things such as communication with other women and what she described to be adult material. What a surprise. Jamie stated, what a lovely thing to find on your partner's phone on Christmas night. Jamie stated when she addressed this with Jonathan, he became enraged and struck her with a closed fist multiple times on the side of her head, her nose, and her ribs. Trigger warning, I should have said, sorry. I think it's fairly obvious that there was going to be sensitive material discussed in this video from the thumbnail. Jamie stated she grabbed her phone and began to dial 911 for help. See? But Jonathan saw her doing this, took her phone from her and said, I will effing KILLU. I'm only spelling that out because YouTube doesn't like words like that to be used. 1 second. Sorry, we've got some wind blowing tonight. The door just opened. Right, where was I? I asked Jamie if she believed this threat to be true. She stated she believed he would unalive her. Jamie stated she believes at some point she lost consciousness after the assault, but remembered Jonathan grabbing 2 bags, his personal cell phone, Jamie's cell phone, and then leaving. I asked Jamie what phone she currently had, and she stated it was Jonathan's work phone that he had left behind. Jamie stated she did not know where he went, but believed he may have taken the white Jeep Compass they rented. I observed a white Jeep Compass to be parked outside prior to making contact with Jamie. I asked Jamie if she would be willing to have her injuries photographed for documentation. Jamie agreed. Did you know another sick comment I heard? Someone had suggested, I think this was on X, on Twitter, that she had done these injuries to herself. And the thing is, it's like, I know women make false allegations, unfortunately. But has anyone ever actually broken their own nose? I don't think they have. They've maybe like scratched themselves or not done a very good job of faking injuries, but I don't remember ever hearing about someone injuring themselves this severely and it's been fake. But anyway, it's again, as you said, Kayla, this is the true crime community. Apparently. Are they not able to think these things through? Okay, I asked Jamie if she would be willing to have her injuries photographed for documentation. Jamie agreed. Due to most of the media on scene, medics on scene, and myself to be male, and one of the areas of injury requiring Jamie to lift her shirt, I asked a female medic if she would be willing to take photos of Jamie's injuries with my department-issued cell phone in the bathroom of the hotel room, to which she agreed and completed. These photos will be uploaded for evidence. Upon completion of documenting the injuries, Jamie was transported to the Cascade Medical Center for evaluation. I requested Rivercom to put an ATL out for Jonathan. I responded to the Cascade Medical Center and met with Jamie in emergency room number 3. I asked Jamie if she would be willing to complete a medical release form for documentation of injuries received from the assault. Jamie agreed, and a medical release form was completed, signed, and provided to the medical facility staff. Jamie stated Jonathan had been texting the work phone, knowing he left it behind. He told Jamie he was 100 miles away from her and in the middle of nowhere. Jamie could not confirm the Jeep Compass still parked at the hotel was their rental, but due to it being the only one there and all the other guests' vehicles accounted for, this was most likely the vehicle. Jamie believed Jonathan to be most likely still in the area and their flight leaves tomorrow, which would require them to travel back to Seattle and return the vehicle to SeaTac where it was rented. I was also advised by Jamie that in August of this year, she was on a work trip with Jonathan in Charlotte. This was when she first found out about his infidelity and issues with adult material. She stated she confronted him and he attacked her in the hotel they were staying at. Jamie stated it was similar to this. He assaulted her violently and then took their rental car and drove back to Florida where they live. Jamie stated there is a long history of Jonathan assaulting her in their almost 3-year dating relationship. She stated she knows she should have left many times before this, but hasn't. Jamie stated Jonathan needs to be held accountable for what he did. After Jamie was discharged from Cascade Medical Center, I was provided a copy of the medical document for the visit, and I provided Jamie with a courtesy ride back to her hotel. Deputy McComas and I searched the room prior to Jamie going back into it. The on-site manager was contacted, who changed the security code combination for the front door and for the room Jamie is staying in. It should be noted that the white Jeep Compass bearing WA registration that was observed earlier was confirmed to be another guest's rental vehicle and was not involved. I have probable cause to arrest Jonathan L. Riches for violating RCW assault in the second degree, DV, harassment, threats to kill, and interfering with the reporting of DV. Another thing I've been hearing is people saying, well, how comes he hasn't been arrested yet? He's been going live in front of police. Because this is in a different state, and I doubt if the police in wherever he was doing his live stream from, Arizona, even knew about this. Because how would they? This isn't like a national America's Most Wanted situation. It's a domestic incident in a local sheriff's department. He knows the law very, very well. He knows what he can get away with. On the 26th of December, I received a text message from Jamie on my department issued cell phone that she cancelled her original flight and booked a flight with a different airline and boarded without issue. Good plan. I received a text message from Jamie on my department issued cell phone that she was finally able to track Jonathan's location. He was traveling through North Dakota. It is not known at this time if he is driving back to Florida or to a different location. That's a good point, though. They didn't say anything about whether they had a warrant out for him at the airport, but I don't know how that works. Did the victim indicate possession of other firearms in the home? No. Did law enforcement request consent to take temporary custody of them? No. Oh, this is all just things. There wasn't a firearm. Was the DV arrest on an assault or other violation? Assault. Was criminal history checked for prior DV conviction? Yes. Was copy of protection order attached to report? No. Was a medical information release signed by the victim? Yes. There's the name. Offender suspect, Jonathan L. Riches. Resident of Chelan County? No. Victim? That's her name. Criminal charges, assault in the second degree booked? No. Threats to kill? No. Interfering with reporting. So he hasn't been booked yet. And then the stuff about the vehicle is redacted. And then that's the end, I think. Yeah. So this is an article from 2008. This is how far his record goes back 2008, and it's on a website called Above the Law, and it says, pro se litigant of the day, Jonathan Lee Riches. As many of you may recall from our prior coverage of him, Jonathan Lee Riches is in a South Carolina prison until 2012 for wire fraud and conspiracy. He is killing his time by filing a ridiculous number of ridiculous lawsuits in courts across the country, nicely summarized in this overview of his oeuvre in the ... the Fulton County Daily Report. Among the defendants to his 192... Okay, so there's a report on it here. I think it's been... Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. So 39% of the 491 cases filed so far this month in US District Court for the Northern District of Georgia have been filed by one man, Jonathan Lee Riches. 491 a month. I don't even know how many that is a day, but it's... How many days? There's 30 days in a month. It's over 10 a day, isn't it? Among the defendants to his 192 suits are former New York Governor Eliot Spitzer and his wife, Pepper Hamilton and Skadden, I don't know any of these names. Norwegian Cruise Lines, investment banker Bruce Wasserstein. Rich's celebrity targets include actors Anne Heche, R.I.P., Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones, musicians Cyndi Lauper and Eddie Van Halen, and Brave Pictures' Tom Glavine. This is in 2008. Riches has alleged that Eliot Spitzer used the fines from corporate convictions to pay for sex workers, that the MacArthur Foundation froze Riches' inmate account and funneled the money to Spitzer, and that Pepper Hamilton took a $1 million retainer from him and other inmates and used money to gamble on the New York Giants. If anyone believes anything that comes out of this guy's mouth ever again, there's something wrong with you. He's a fantasist. We wonder if the suit against Cyndi Lauper was about the mental anguish suffered when time after time gets stuck in your head. Federal district courts across the county are annoyed at the waste of their man hours and money in processing the complaints. Is he crazy or crazy like a fox? He's garnered a great amount of media attention, as detailed in his Wikipedia entry. Yeah, I've not even gone there, but it is all written on Wikipedia as well. And we've written about him extensively in these pages. We surmise that he may be setting himself up as a media commentator on frivolous lawsuits. Some of Rich's prior complaints have been dismissed, including a $662 million suit filed in the Northern District last summer against Atlanta Falcons quarterback Michael Vick. I've heard of him. The suit alleged that Vick was attempting to kidnap Rich's mind and to force him to lose weight, and demanded that $662 million be delivered in British gold shipped by a truck to the front gates of the prison where Richards is incarcerated. I don't think this, people, you could say, oh, he's not in his right mind. I think he's literally trolling with this. He's not being serious. This is not a mental illness. This is, he's just an entitled twat. I'm sorry. Noting that a trio of other Richards suits in federal courts in Michigan, South Carolina, and Florida had been dismissed as frivolous. Senior U.S. District Judge Willis B. Hunt Jr. dismissed the suit against Vick in August. He cited the 3 strikes rule, which says a prisoner is prohibited from bringing federal civil actions in former pauperis if, while incarcerated, he has had 3 other suits dismissed on the grounds of frivolity, malice, or failure to state a claim. There is, however, an exception. The prisoner may file, the statute says, if he's in an imminent danger of physical injury. So, yeah, there was that. Then there was another article I found in 2020 from Creative Loafing. And that's showing him getting involved in Black Lives Matter in South Tampa. And another thing I've noticed he does is he goes around wearing a media t-shirt. Or with his logo on it, and he knows full well he's not press, because if you watch him going up to like I can't remember which search it was. So he's been involved in a lot of these missing children cases as well, which is really like off-putting, to say the least. But yeah, a lot of these cases, they have official searches set up. They have tents, they have organizers there. It's all being taken care of in that respect. And he will literally avoid that area and go and do his own search, because he knows if anyone questions him as to his identity and his credentials, they may well find out that he's actually a fraudster. In fact, one of the going back to that New York Post article, or was it in the Huffington Post? No, I think it was in the New York Post. Yeah, this guy, he confronted him. I think it was him, or it might have been it might have been to do with, I think it was Summer Wells, is it? One of those missing children. And he had posted something about one of the neighbors being a suspect, and the guy confronted him and said, you need to take that post down, because I'm getting harassed about it. And people are like believing it on Facebook. And he acted like a little pussy, if you don't mind me saying so. Like, he can talk the talk, but when it comes down to it, he just bottles it. Unless it's a woman, I guess. So, yeah, this article says that in July, so this is in 2020, yeah? South Tampa protest on September 15th. He's carrying a flag. He's cosplaying, that's what he's doing. St. Petersburg protesters expressed serious concern that threats from a local pro-police Facebook group would lead to real-life violence after members of the group openly called for activists to be injured. Last weekend, a moderator of the group marched alongside counter-protesters in downtown St. Pete, and one of them drew a weapon that shoots. On Saturday, September 26th, Black Lives Matter protesters headed down Beach Drive in St. Petersburg and were followed by counter-protesters waving American flags. At one point, according to multiple videos posted to social media, a counter-protester pulled out a shooter on the protesters. Though no shots were fired, the St. Pete Police Department says it's investigating the incident. SPPD also says a protester pulled out a small knife before the counter-protester drew his shooter, though they provided no evidence of this claim. The groups separated and no shots were fired and no one was hurt. No property was damaged, SPPD wrote in a media release. A Facebook Live video Can we see it? Nope, it's no longer available. Posted by Tampa resident and prolific online troll Jonathan Lee Riches, shows him marching alongside the counter-protesters, as well as the individual who pulled the shooter as they trail the BLM activists. In the video, Richards calls out to one BLM marcher by name and says he was recently at his mother's house and snapped a selfie. He also tells others, "We're peaceful people, we just want to keep the community safe." At around the 23-minute mark, the video appears to show a counter-protester wearing a dark blue shirt and a white and green baseball cap getting involved in a scuffle. "Where are you, St. Pete police? Where are you? There's fights out here," says Richards, whose Facebook account claims he has over 2 million followers. I think later on they say it doesn't have 2 million followers. In Rich's video, the counter-protester appears to push a protester to the ground and then square up with a shirtless man before pulling a gun from behind his back. You know what? You just reminded me, actually. Speaking of Tyler Oliveira, yeah, like he was doing those videos about this thing about there being racism against white people, which is absolute bullshit. Another channel that I have called out on here, I do not mind calling out channels by name, Sean Atwood and his co-presenter, they were jumping onto that narrative when I made a video about them. I've made 2 videos about Sean Atwood. Because he used the P. Diddy trial to scam as well. But yeah, I just remembered that these people have made videos about migrants and immigration and all of this. And I think someone said to me something about starting a group or something for one of the stories I was looking at that was something to do with true crime. It might have been the Nicola Billy one, actually. I don't know. But the reason why I said I would never do that is because of that reason. I have noticed that a lot of the people in the comment section, when you start looking at their profiles and looking up their names, they seem to be into that shit. I just find it very weird. because it's like you're kind of obsessed with like finding out whether a woman's been killed or that there's a murder on the loose, but you really have all this hatred for immigrants, like when it was probably her husband, if it was anyone who's white, that would have done it. But anyway, just like with this situation, the criminal is in the midst of you and you've just ignored it. But you want to go after immigrants all the time. Not to say that immigrants don't commit crime, of course they do, but it's actually statistically predominantly white men that commit crime in the UK, and I'm pretty sure in the US as well. Okay, let me not get off topic. But yeah, they like to make up these conspiracies that it's immigrants, that the UK, in the UK as well, we've had this big thing lately with anti-Semitism, and anti-Semitism is on the rise, and anyone that is a pro-Palestine protester is being anti-Semitic. It's getting ridiculous now. When it's actually people like him who are pretending to be Jewish for the cameras that are causing trouble. I have seen it happening at protests in London. This stuff is going on more and more. It's crazy. It's easy to see this as an isolated incident, but Richards is also a moderator of St. Petersburg and Bay Area Crime Watch. Remember what he said about setting up Twitter accounts and Facebook pages? A pro-police Facebook group where members have literally called for violence against Tampa Bay protesters. In a photo posted on July 29 to Rich's personal Facebook page, he stated that he is now a moderator for the controversial group, which has since been renamed to Pinellas County Crime Watch. Jonathan Riches was with the group of St. Pete counter-protesters that pulled on BLM marchers. He's also a moderator of a local Facebook group people have feared would lead to real-life violence. Ray Rower did a deep dive into this group last July. Oh. Let's see if this works. Okay, so there's another article. St. Pete protesters worry a local Facebook group will lead to real-life violence. The majority of true crime conspiracies come from Facebook, in my experience. At this point, it's no secret that Facebook, by the way, owned by actual stalker. What's his name? I've literally forgotten the name of the guy that started Facebook, but he was a stalker. He set Facebook up to stalk his ex and make her jealous. And one St. Petersburg Crime Watch group is an example of that. So it's like reverse psychology. The stated mission of the St. Petersburg Bay Area Crime Watch group is to help local police departments by becoming the eyes and ears of the community and establishing a power of presence, and then increasing the visibility of our enforcement services. This is how people start joining ICE and stuff. The Bootlicking Manifesto goes on to say that the group seeks to be proactive in law enforcement and establish a zone for criminals where the risk of being caught is too high for them to practice their profession. To unite the business community and Chamber of Commerce with the citizens and local government, all in the name of empowering people to remain in control of their communities, to lower crime rates and to keep property values high. Wow. So this is a whole deep dive into it. I'm not going to do it all now, but you can see that someone has done a full report into what was going on with this Facebook grid. This is in 2020. More video surfing, more hood rats being tracked down one by one. Let's send them all to jail. Are these the same people that are complaining about surveillance technology now? Anyway, let me go back to where I was. This was the same day Creative Loafing Tampa Bay published an article about the group's history of racism, homophobia, and calls for violence. As we previously reported, many of the group's moderators used fake profiles and were removed the day the story came out. Also, other names used by moderators had criminal backgrounds, which included charges of fraud, trafficking stolen property, trafficking stolen property, drug possession, domestic battery, burglary, and aggravated assault. In a statement to CL, John Hatfield, a former moderator of the St. Petersburg and Bay Area Crime Watch, said that a year ago he started noticing moderators using fake profiles to incite racial arguments. They used fake accounts to incite racism and promote violence towards peaceful protesters in the group for a long time. Hatfield, who originally joined the group to report local crime and raise awareness for a safer community, wrote, who originally joined the group to report local crime and raise an awareness for a safe community, wrote, Hatfield said that in private messages, moderators shared personal information, which led them to believe that some of the profiles cited in CL's story, specifically Alexis Schmidt, Mark Rodriguez, that was the person whose post I just showed in the other article, Evan Geiselman, and Maddie Dickamillis belonged to people who were friends in real life. They used real photos and had photos of themselves together on other social media platforms, so we knew there was no way all four people could claim stolen identity, Hatfield wrote, adding that one of the sources in CL's story lied to our reporter about having pictures stolen. Hatfield told CL that he and a group of friends, Nick Cruz, Kevin Knight, and Hugh Lee, confronted page moderator Mark Rodriguez, to express disagreement over the addition of new moderators, specifically Riches. They wanted to spice things up and bring more racial tension to the group and create an unwelcoming environment for the protesters in downtown St. Pete, Hatfield wrote. They added Jonathan Riches to fulfill that demand for racial tension, as he is heavily involved with counter-protesting and does live videos on Facebook to promote the violence towards protesters. Creative Loafing Tampa Bay could not reach Riches for comment. However, even before Riches joined the group as a moderator, calls for violence were already present. One post showed protesters blocking traffic, and a response to the post said, "If basement living maggots are playing in the streets and can get ran over, don't blame the drivers." This proper sounds like ICE. What I've seen of them anyway. One profile responded with, "Keep on trucking right through them and keep driving, knock one down, they'll move." And the thing is, it's like, they might have convinced themselves through these posts and fake profilers like Riches that this is what the community needs. But the reality is that people have gone out and protested against ICE for months now. It must be a year I've been seeing that going on. It has just caused deaths. It's caused pain. It's caused anxiety. A St. Pete protester who wished to stay anonymous told CL back in July they worried the group's activity would lead to Black Lives Matter marchers getting hurt during demonstrations. Multiple users also say they've reported profiles and activity related to the group, but Facebook has yet to act. Riches, who served a 10-year federal prison sentence for wire fraud, is known for filing thousands of frivolous lawsuits. This stuff has been known about, many of which were filed from jail. He even filed an injunction against Guinness Book of World Records for attempting to name the most litigious individual in history. Oh yeah, apparently that's not even true. The Guinness Book of Records said they never made that a thing. And then he tried to sue them because he probably made it up himself. Zuckerberg, yes. Who's saying liar? Pepe Sylvia. Who's a liar? What am I lying about? Please tell me what I'm lying about, Pepe, because every single thing I say is, you might not be talking to me, but please elaborate. We welcome conversations in our live chats. Zuckerberg allows genocidal regime use his platform to spread their propaganda. It wasn't just exactly. I mean, look where we're at now. Isn't it funny how MAGA felons like to cheer on locking other people up, watch their reaction when you pull up their rap sheets, right? And you know what else they do? I've noticed this on YouTube as well. There's a couple of dodgy channels that sometimes, because I really genuinely wanted to find other good UK commentary channels that I could like get along with, maybe collaborate with. And there's this one in particular called Just Gone Viral. And one day he just started posting all this stuff, because I will say he has called out this someone who sounds very similar to JLR, maybe the British version, the British Poundline version, who calls himself JRE Media or JDE Media. And he was very involved in the Nicola Bulley case because he was going up there to live stream every day and harassing the local people. And guess what? He's an SO. He's a sex offender. He's on the list. But yeah, that guy Just Gone Viral. Like one day he just started posting all this stuff about, he was like filming from his Ring camera that there was people trying to get into his house and like ringing on the doorbell. And I'm sure it was like bailiffs or something. But he was turning it into it's people have been reporting me to YouTube. It's because of my commentary. And I'm like, oh no. It's really sad. There's got to be someone else out there that can join me in my quest for reporting factual information. Right, let's get back to the article. Riches also has a history of dubious online activity, especially when it comes to creating fake Facebook pages tied to real events. According to Huffington Post, during the outrage surrounding the Covington Catholic High School students and the Native American protester in Washington, D.C., Riches and others created several Covington-related pages, including a fake page for Covington student Nicholas Sandman that bashed the elder Nathan Phillips. Rich's stunts have also spilled into the real world. He once dressed up as a Muslim and attended a Hillary Clinton town hall in Haverford, Pennsylvania, representing Muslims for Clinton, reports Huffington Post. And he was at Bill Cosby's trial handing out Jell-O pudding pops. Did we have that picture of him as a Muslim? We don't need to see it, but I've seen it anyway. However, lately it seems Rich's theatrics have mostly been focused on Tampa Bay marches and rallies, including a recent Back the Blue rally in Clearwater. That's Scientology. I think he's had a run-in with Scientology as well. Pretty sure I've seen that. There's so much. He's honestly done so much. You can look at it if you want. As a counter-protester at a South Tampa CVS gathering and a Black Lives Matter protest in Newport Richey. On Monday morning, Rich's shared a screen grab of a Facebook event calling for a patriotic MAGA rally happening this Saturday, October 3rd, to save downtown St. Petersburg. Correction, in a previous version of this story, we stated Richards has over 2 million followers on social media. This has not been verified. No, he has 600,000. He did have 600,000 subscribers on YouTube. I think it's gone down to like 500,000. I think a lot of people have unsubscribed from him. So this obviously is new information to them. But I still find it incredible that these people are supposed to be interested in true crime, and not for 1 second did they think to check whether this guy was a credible source or not. It just makes me wonder, who the hell watches all this shit? I really find it disturbing. Support local journalism in these crazy days. I agree. The circle of trust gets smaller every day. Okay. I think I might have to wrap it up because I've been on for 2 hours. I've covered quite a bit. I think you've got the general idea. And I said I was just going to do a couple of hours. I think I've been through all the articles that I had, not all the articles that I had found, because if you go on his Wikipedia, there's a ton more. Oh, you've got a compliment. You wanted to thank you for reading Virginia's book. I truly appreciate it. Oh, no problem. I promise you I'm going to do the last chapter. I was actually going to do the last chapter this week, but then this came up and I was feeling a bit rough the last couple of days. So I was like, no, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to do it. I promise you. I'm going to put my camera on and I'm going to do the last chapter. She's still so relevant. The Epstein files is so relevant. I did make my Michael Jackson video. I posted my Michael Jackson video. So many of these people that say they do true crime, by the way, in the UK, not so much in the US, but some in the US, have been putting out false conspiracy theories about Michael Jackson. And I found out even more stuff connecting Michael Jackson to Epstein. And I'm just like, I find it really, really disgusting. There's one guy in the UK in particular, Wax Unfiltered. He needs to be exposed big time. because he is a fraudster like this. And I'm like, you see how this guy operates behind the scenes, yeah? In front of the cameras, he's all Mr. Charisma. He says everything his audience wants to hear. But behind the scenes, he's a thief that goes after vulnerable people. He's laughing at these people, saying how gullible and stupid they are. And he's mistreating his girlfriends or his wives, playing psychological games on them and threatening to unalive them. That's the reality of who these people are. So, you know, if you want to join my live streams, that's where I'm at with this. I'm like, even if there's just a small group of us that are counter protesting the mainstream masculine dominance, it's not all masculine as well. There's some women doing it. But yeah, I just want to genuinely have a safe space to be able to express my disgust for this, because I'm like, you know, we can't really escape social media anymore. And as we've seen from all of these articles, this is crossing over into real life now. It has crossed over into real life. It's literally taken over the streets with all this stuff that has been happening with ICE over the last few months and everything else. Anyway, let's not end on a down note. It gives you something to look forward to. I hope you recover completely very soon. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I don't know. My health has just been all over the place for the last year. I don't know what is going on. It's just frustrating and annoying, but it is what it is. The latest theory about Michael Jackson saving the Epstein children. I know, I was literally like speechless. And I'm like, it's really hard to know whether these people are unhinged or they're just trolling. But if they are just trolling, then I'm sorry, but it's like you're basically colluding with a pedophile. You're basically defending and supporting pedophilia. You cannot call yourself an investigative journalist and believe this stuff. There's literally zero evidence that he was trying to save any children. The more I really genuinely think I have done so much research into Michael Jackson, the more I found out about him. He is a disgusting human being. A disgusting human being. Terrible father. Anyway, I just think his lawyers have milked his estate to death, and somehow, using the methods that we've seen, this Jonathan Lee Richards openly bragging about, this is the exact same tactics that have been used to defend Michael Jackson and to make people believe that he's innocent. They're desperate to excuse Michael Jackson being in the Epstein files. Yeah, I definitely feel. Oh, you know what I found out as well? I'm going to do another live about it. I'll save it for the live because I do have a lot more information about it. But yeah, I think they definitely put out these stories somehow to take the heat off his actual involvement with Epstein, and also because they have this film coming out, which I think could not do very well. But yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining. I do hope you enjoyed my presentation, and please stay away from JLR's channel or any topics that he talks about in the future, if you haven't already. Thank you, and speak to you all soon. Nighty night. Have a great night. Bye.